Cynthia, oh, got you tabbed up, working. Hope you have an amazing stream. Hell yeah, Cubano. Thank you, good sir. Enjoy work. Hopefully everything flies by in the day, and next thing you know, you're at home gaming, having a good fucking time. Alright, so, Ninja Story. Here we go. Epilogue. Events that take place in the modern era. Cynthia, I'm gonna zoom in here, actually. Cynthia, the priestess of light, and Rowena, the witch of shadow. They watch quietly as the world continues to turn. Oh, actually, we're gonna do the voice. Hold on, we're gonna do the voice. Nations have risen and fallen, empires born and forgotten. Yet now, in this new age, something has changed. The people of the world, once divided by magic, faith, and fear, have begun to unite. A new faction has emerged, the Pantheons. A faction where all four magical classes, from Duskborn to Dawnbringer, from Starbinder to Resonant, work together in peace. They look upon the Greek Pantheon, ruled by a group of gifted humans that call themselves the Olympians. Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and Hera, and many more. I wouldn't even say I would just say Hera, Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, and many more. Rowena and Cynthia took notice of Hades being Duskborn among Zeus and Poseidon. I don't know if you need among there either. Or you could say among Zeus and Poseidon were resonance, and Hera being a Dawnbringer. The couple smiled. To top it off, Hera is seen wearing color black, a color associated with Duskborn. Priestesses wearing black color resemble real-life nuns. They then notice Hades walking towards Hera, and both smiling and bowing down to each other respectfully before going off on their duties in Olympus. At last, they've learned to walk side by side. Light no longer stands against shadow. Rowena chuckles softly, brushing spectral strands of hair between her ear. Took them long enough. I thought they'd need another few centuries of war before realizing we weren't so different. As the wind carries the laughter of the Pantheon. I would say Pantheon's echo through the forest. Or like the Pantheon's laughter echoes through the forest. Cynthia leans against Rowena, their spirits faintly glow. Do you think they'll remember us? Cynthia asks softly. Cynthia chuckles. They already have, Rowena joked. Maybe, or maybe they'll just think we were close friends. The two share a laugh, the same light-hearted tone that once filled the world before war. And as they fade into the moonlight, their voices linger. Let them think what they wish. Love needs no believers. and beneath the morning woods the necklace, untouched for millennia, gleams faintly once more, as if laughing with them. Thus concludes the story of Cynthia and Rowena, the two star-crossed lovers of light and dark. Their story sparked the evenings that eventually led to the formation of pantheons, a faction of 4 classes united. Epilogue 2. Modern Era. A pantheon of researchers called the Wanderers discuss how Cynthia and Rowena were actually like.
Just want to make it clear, in my Sapphire Universe, pantheons are still a small faction, so not all countries have a pantheon faction. And that's kind of like the idea of, like, they're like the nuclear weapons, like they're the ultimate weapon of war, like staving off. Like, you don't want to attack this nation because they have Gilgamesh. You don't want to attack this nation because they have this guy or this guy or this guy, right?
A pantheon of researchers called the Wanderers discuss how Cynthia and Rowena were actually like.
I would say what, not how, or say how they acted, how their lives truly were.
Modern historians, of course, insist that the two were merely close companions. Professor Aenor of the Forge-Bound famously wrote, "Evidence suggests a deep bond between Rowena and Cynthia, perhaps akin to sisterhood or philosophical kinship. The notion of romance involvement is, naturally, a fallacy exaggerated by poets of later eras." To which an anonymous investigator of the Umbral Covenant responded in the margins of his manuscript, "If that was sisterhood, then I fear to see what your marriages look like." The scholar then further adds, "Either you're that dense or something like that is platonic in your forge-bound culture. If it's the latter, then I can't imagine the kind of interactions you two do each other when in love." Even the scroll keeper of the Starbinders, who tend to be neutral, couldn't resist a touch of irony at their archives note. "It is statistically improbable that 2 women could spend 7 years hiding in a temple ruin writing songs to each other under starlight without some degree of emotional intimacy." The Duskbringer archaeologist rolled his eyes out. "We're never going to agree on a conclusive theory, are we?"
I love the emote.
Professor Aenor, as he scrolls down to find another topic to discuss, because he was pissed about being called dense. He finds an interesting topic they gathered at some point. The report of an unknown cryptid described by witnesses as human-like with the tail of a fish. Could it be? Author's note: although these 4 researchers are comic relief, they will play a significant role in later stories. Nice. So is that all you want me to read, or you want me to read the prologue, or like the stuff to do with the boy who cried succubus? Or is this not complete yet? TLBG, what's up, good sir? Welcome, how are you? TLBG, do you have another chapter for us today?
At least read and let me know if you need to separate it into sections. Been writing chapter 3. Fuck yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Get in there. Alright. The Boy Who Cried Succubus, the prologue. Case 1. Scene opens with the exterior shot of Willow Creek University. It's the first day of school for new transferees and returning students taking up art and design courses. Ethan. Willow Creek University, one of the finest art schools in the country. For me, it's a fresh start and a chance to be somebody. Although I had hoped that this year will be a little easier than last. I was wrong. Case 2. Our main lead, Ethan, as he looks at the school, looks excited to be here. Case 3. Ethan takes in the moment as other students chat leisurely past him. Ethan. I made it. I can't believe I'll be studying here from now on. Now that I've kind of established how it's going to be, I'm just going to ignore those extra steps just to make it flow better. Ethan looks down as he pulls out his necklace. A lingering feeling of missing his friends momentarily washes over him. Ishtar is introduced. Ishtar messes with the main character by whispering to him. Then she uses her phantom sense to caress the main character's waist. Main character asks who's toying with him and she appears. No problem. Jamie, Robbie, Rocco, Elizabeth. You would have loved this place. Gutter from previous panel to this panel is further away from each other to indicate time passing. Space to be filled with different student portfolio works and portraits. This will be the open space transition to panel 7. POV from outside the window looking into the classroom, showing the students lined up and the teacher giving feedback to each student. Then is depicted as small here in the panel, sitting at his table, isolated from the corner of the classroom. The back of the class, Ethan sighs, looking a little demotivated. All their works are amazing. I hope I catch up with them. Ethan's face with his left hand cupped his side of the cheek. Not to mention everyone seems to have a group already to hang out with. I'm already struggling to make friends lately. Single text bubble appears as gutter space fades from white space to black. My friends. Ishtar asks who sent him. The main character makes a porn joke. Ishtar responds by using the main character's body as a soccer ball, which in turn is the main character puke blood. Nice. Don't fuck with her, man. Flashback. Jamie, Elizabeth, Timmy, and Rocco appear to be laughing. Couple frame shows Elizabeth waving at Ethan's POV. Elizabeth smiles at him. His teacher's loud voice interrupts his flashback as Ethan forgets to pay attention. Alright, now go find a pair. Chibi. Ethan stops daydreaming and looks around, confused. Mumbling to himself, huh? How long was I out? Random people reaching out and pairing together. Professor Fitz speech bubbles accompany these panels. Let me repeat for this week. You will get to know one another and let go of perfectionism. Find a drawing partner and sketch each other's portrait 5 times by the end of this week in your 12x9 sketchbooks. Professor Fitz with clear background composition. He's standing with his cane behind the chalkboard behind him. He smiles gently as he gives out the instruction. The narrative text box describes the character in text. Professor Fitz Henderson, FA Freehand Drawing Class, not the final name. Professor Fritz. Compared to the 100 life drawing assignment I gave out to my students last year, this should be an easy one. Small close shot of Professor F's eyes in the small frame panel. Small text. Professor Fritz looking at Ethan from a distance. Couple frame. Eye level angle. Ethan looking down, looking helpless. Professor Fritz F looking up at him. Sighs. There's always one in every semester. Main character then lunges to Ishtar and she dodges his attack, proceeds to get a gut punch him and calls the main character pathetic. And she asks who sent him. Oh, Father Time! Oh shit! The moment it's all coming together! It all makes sense! Shot of the classroom, clock indicating time passing by, class has ended. Scene takes place after class, the professor's table, where he talks to Ethan, checks for Ethan's name in his class listing. Professor sounds stern but understanding. You have to find a partner for this task. I understand that the first few days are hard, but you need to go out of your comfort zone and try reaching out to some people. I'm sorry, I've been feeling unwell. I'll do my best. Good, you still got time. Ethan walks in the hallway of his university. Paintings are lined up as he walks past them. You have 1 week before the deadline, or I'll have to fail you. Ethan looks stressed, passed by the other students leisurely chatting and going the opposite direction. Main character responds, bitter, and Ishtar begins to monologue how humans are so easy to break. Ethan looks stressed. He passes by the other students leisurely chatting and going the opposite direction. Set in the evening. Scene cuts to the exterior of his dorm. Next panel shows him entering his room. We don't see his expression as his back is faced to the reader. Small panel, Ethan's bag being tossed to the side of the bed. Ethan lies in his bed and sighs. What am I gonna do? Gutter space slowly fades to black. This is Ninja's story, but it's in script form. So all that backstory that we've read has led up to this character. Or do you mean TLBG's story, which is chapter 3 of his time-traveling, time-mastering isekai? It's helpful if you clarify, Fish, direction of what you're, but I mean, if you're not, you're just going to get 1,000 different answers, so it's up to you whether you want to be specific about what you're directing towards, or if you want to get hammered with all of the information all at once. Because I always choose the wrong one, so it don't matter what it is. That's why the best thing to do is always choose the same option, because out of 1,000 choices, one of them, that option has to be the right option. So I always pick option A, because eventually option A will be right. And if I'm 1,000 to 1, I got 1 right. That's all that matters. I got 1 right. 1 is very important. Main character falls asleep. To put it simply, it talks, the boy cried song is essentially the calm before the storm. I have my reasons as to why the storm begins with an ordinary human before the next stories end up being gifted humans as main characters onwards. It's to show contrast, right? Show what the life of a normal human is like compared to everyone else. And the struggles that they go through. It's like with Jonathan Joestar. We start with a Hammond user before the next seasons of JoJo start about stand users. Yeah. I don't like ads. Do you like ads? I don't like ads. Do you like ads? I don't like ads. I don't like ads. Do you like ads? Do you like ads? I don't like ads. I don't like. Do you like ads? Not ads. Not here. Not like this. Not now. Not how I imagined it to be. Now we're down to the ground, ready on all the ads. Don't take it for granted. It's okay. That's how we started. It will be fine. I don't mind giving up my time to eat up ads that eat my money that I spend to get by things that matter. But don't worry, I'll do what I can, because next time I won't be able to stand on ads. Fuck ads. It's the ad dance. We're all about the ads. Queen, if you're out there. Toke time. Wait, I'll wait for the ads, because I don't think you're a sub anymore. Queen, 3, 2, 1. Toke! Main character calls her a piece of shit, and Ishtar says that she finds the stubborn ones fun to break, and the main character says he would never have sex with her. You're not hard because you smoke weed. No, Fish, I'm hard because of Callie. Duh. Him and his delicious nature. Such a satisfying feeling. Is this like a reverse psychology thing, or is the main character really like that? Because, like, I'd be like, hey, man, if I make her think that, then she'll fuck me. I'll be set for life. Star then proceeds to take the main character's glasses away and leave. Don't mean to be rude or anything, but whether the story Otaku is currently reading is good or not, I think it's better if you show Otaku's story after he's done with the current one he's reading. I don't know, it's up to TLBG if he wants to drop his notes in the chat or not, right? He's just kind of explaining the story, probably trying to get ideas out of his head, maybe get some feedback while he's writing it. So now the main character is blind. Just telling him what I wrote so far. It's all good, Ninja. Patches of sunlight peeking through the tree canopy as it shows Ethan taking in the scenery. Ethan turns to the figure near him. The wind blows gently. His crush, Elizabeth, softly laughs, relaxing on the picnic mat with Ethan. Elizabeth chuckles. What are you thinking about? Oh, nothing. Elizabeth leans to Ethan a little, her eyes twinkle. Doesn't seem like nothing. Your eyebrows get all expressive when thinking about something. Huh? Do I really do that? Chibi versions. Elizabeth bursts into laughter. You're doing it right now. Flustered. Ethan bashfully smiles and chuckles. Hey, I think Rocco's more expressive than I am. His eyes go big if he gets mad or surprised. Jimmy and I laugh about it a lot. Remember when? Small panel. Ethan froze as he looked at her, horrified, only to see Elizabeth's back and his eyes widening. But that main character continues in the desert and finds an oasis to think of any way to get back. He's gotta try and fuck her, right? That sounds about right. Small panel. Ethan froze. Oh, we already eyes widening. Panel reveals Elizabeth with black eyes, black liquid dripping out. What's wrong? Ethan scoots away, but Elizabeth leans closer, still smiling. Her face starts to melt. Elizabeth, don't leave. Nighttime. Ethan wakes up from his nightmare in cold sweat, sits up and puts his hands to his face. It's just a dream. Scene ends with the moon shining outside his window. School, Ethan is rejected by some of his classmates about being his partner for the 1 week assignment. Montage. Person A, sorry man, good luck though. Person B and C, we're already partners. Person D, oh sorry, no can do. Person E, thanks, but I already started with somebody else. Person F, oh, sure, I don't have a partner too, and I came in late, so. Ethan relieved, great, we can pair up, we still have time. Person F, cutting him off. Oh, yeah, okay then. Exterior shot of a school building, indicating a few days later. Then he gets back to walking in the desert for 5 days straight and gets to Uruk, so he can get some weapons to rematch Ishtar. Is he still with Gilgamesh and Siduri? Or is he like on his own? And how bad is his eyesight? Right? Like, can he see, like, does he need his glasses to read, or does he need anything else? Classroom setting. Professor Fritz stands over Ethan working on his sketch alone. Ethan looks lost and unable to look at him in embarrassment. Professor F. Well, where's your partner? You've 2 days left, son. I think she'll be here soon. Ethan rummages for his phone in his bag. He calls for his partner and looks anxious. If I ask Professor if I can do this solo when the deadline is almost up, that would suck. I was looking forward to getting to know her, too. True, Queen. Agreed. We're just chilling, having a good time, right? Also, he's not completely blind. He only needs them to read from far away. Okay, so it's kind of like me, right? Like, like, the chat's too small to read, but if the text was bigger, I'd be able to read it. If it was in Scrivener, I'd be able to read it. It's like just barely too small. Aside from that, he's fine. Wee. We fish. We. It's a pee-pee. PowerPoint. It's a wee small PowerPoint. It's only 24 slides, guys. It's a wee pee-pee. His call gets picked up, and his partner answers. Ethan looks a little relieved, but remains stressed. Misty. Hello? Hi, Misty. It's been an hour since class started, and we really need to get started on this project. I've saved a seat for you. Oh, sorry, Ethan. I got sick and think I'll be free until next week. I'm an irregular student, too, so... That's so. Project is going to be over by then, and it covers a large part of the grading. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hangs up. Beep. Man, he got fucked over. So he's now he's in a rook, and the people are scared of him because of his blood-stained tunic. Because he basically threw up blood on himself. He got punched in the gut by Ishtar. Ethan looks exasperated. He slumps in his seat. In the background, a pair of students pass their project on the professor's table. Random student. We're done with the project, Professor. Thank you. We see Ethan sitting by himself, emphasized by how isolated he is when the other pairs are working on the project. Some are already done. Stress and frustration at him is getting to him. This is humiliating. Close-up shot of his sketchbook. His sketches are messy and unsure. Ethan taps his foot anxiously. This keeps up, I'm going to fail this semester. I'm not confident in my previous submissions. I can't even find a partner for this project. Bloodstains are from being a human soccer ball from Ishtar and then peeping blood. While Ethan is thinking this, the shot reveals a new character coming in, showing only her shoes as she walks confidently. Classroom door opens. Only the back of her hoodie is shown. Belial. Sorry to interrupt. Is this Professor Henderson's class? Professor Fritz looks at the mysterious girl almost as if he was expecting her arrival. Professor F. Ah, yes. I was told that you'd be assigned here, but you came later than expected, young miss. So yeah, Ishtar is not to fuck around with. Sounds about right. He goes in front of... I mean, like, yeah, she's kind of a cunt. He goes in front of his table and beckons for her to come forward in class. She strides forward at the class, looking at her with curiosity. Although we started some time ago, you must introduce yourself to everyone before you get to sit in my class. Go on, then. Gladly. She removes her hood, revealing her beauty. The class erupts in awe and in love. Make the class reaction separated into different panels. Hi, my name is Belial. It's nice to meet you all. Guy classmates are talking amongst themselves off panel. Ethan sits upright, taking in Belial's beauty. although he is not as crazy as the others. So this is a transfer student or something. She's gorgeous. Among the lively chatter, focus on Belial, smiling. She's like a ray of sunshine. She does give the main character the chance to turn his brain off and have sex with her. Does he do it, though? Among the lively chatter, focus on Ethan's face. Slight blush appearing. Well, he's smart. She might as well be a siren in a fucking succubus. She's a demon! I mean, she is pretty, but she's not Elizabeth. Ethan is at the back of the class. He looks down at his table, back to his project, seemingly unbothered. Belial sees past the classmates and stares at Ethan, picking up his disinterest. Off-panel, Professor Fritz mentions about the new pairing. Chibi version of Ethan looks dumbfounded. Well, since everyone is all partnered up and there is an odd one out in the groupings, would you like to be a partner with Ethan, Miss Belial? Bro, she has both a giant bow and can launch planets as arrows into Warhammer. Yeah, so she's my dommy mommy. She can step on me all day. Ethan, small off text. Huh? Wow. Almost too carefree. Okay. Belial's hair flows as she walks towards Ethan's table. In the back, her classmates are all in chibi form and heart-eyed in surprise. What? Huh? Belial grabs a chair. She sits in front of Ethan, who looks stunned. Last shot. Belial smiles. Her beauty radiates once more. Belial, nice to meet you. Ethan. Well, there's definitely something going on with Belial there. So Ishtar is a top and a thong, golden cuffs, and hoop earrings. Yep. Sounds about right. I mean, it definitely establishes Ethan's character. She's also an arrogant piece of shit. Well, I mean, she's hot as fuck. She's allowed to be. She can think whatever she wants as long as I get to fuck her. That's all I care about. Maybe, like, saying what the fuck happened to his friends? I feel like we really need to know. It should be, like, at least hinted at that it was like, was it his fault? But you should give an inference of, like, what it is. Does he think that it's his fault? Like, you need to give the reader a sense of reasoning for why the way that he is. Did he just lose them? Was it an accident? Like, was it paranormal? How long ago was it? Like, the professor kind of hints at it with being like, yo, it's been enough time. But I'm just saying, like, it's hard to connect with the character when you don't know what the character is actually feeling, is what I mean, Ninja. Like, I don't know if he's just sad, if he feels guilty, if, like, he wishes he could go back and change things. Like, I feel like you're not capitalizing on, like, anything that gives the character life. I feel like this is, like, a pretty, like, dead character without more. Ishtar in FGO has her servant contract be kissing her feet. Of course it is. But that's just like I don't feel that I connect with the character. I feel like this character is just like being so no, I'm not letting you do it. Yeah, Grand Fate Order. Or Fate Grand Order. I feel like what's the whole point of the build-up of the prologue if it doesn't really assert anything about the character? It feels like more of a setting. Like you're trying to use the character as a backdrop to establish the setting instead of using the character to just establish the setting. And it's like, get more inside of the character's head, more dialogue with the character. This dream was really good, but it needs to be elaborated on. I feel like if you're not gonna add in anything else, you really only need the dream sequence. Like, start the prologue with the dream sequence. Initiate it into telling us that his friends are dead. And then just simply tell us that he is, you know, in a very introverted state right now, and then Belial shows up. Like, I think you could make this a hell of a lot shorter, and like, I see what you're trying to do by building up, like, the character interactions and being like, yeah, he's a loner, he's not good with people, he had that one person in his life that was, you know, made him social. But it's like, I feel like it's too heavy-handed, and it doesn't have enough of a payoff. So if you're gonna go with that length, it needs more emphasis on his inner self. Does that make sense, Ninja? It's filler. The effect of making the character feel like they're an introvert can just be summarized by his interaction with Belial. Like, I don't think you need the whole build-up and everything like that. I think you just need the dream. You need an explanation that they're dead. You need the project itself. And then just that last scene of just stating, hey, we have a project that's due. We have this student. Like, I feel like adding in Misty, all this other stuff, like, it didn't feel like it was really going anywhere or had anything to do with it. And even if it does later on, if there's nothing that connects it now, why bring it up now? Right? It's like you could bring it up later. It's like, does it have to be now that sets it up? Right? Because you want to set up into almost immediate payoff for like the first 3 chapters. And I don't feel like there's really any payoff at all. I feel like it's all set up. Which is like, yeah, but you gotta give us something to make us move from the prologue to the first chapter. Like, what's the reason? I don't know what the reason for this chapter is, or this prologue is. Like, normally when you read the prologue, you're like, okay, this is to tell you a certain thing. I'm like, this prologue is here to tell me this character is an introvert. And he lost his friends. And maybe the love of his life. But I feel like if you want a prologue, have the scene of the characters fucking dying. or whatever the fuck happens to them would be way more impactful than this. I just don't see this having, it doesn't seem to have any impact in it. And I feel like for a prologue, you really need to have something that goes, oh, and they're like a person's looking forward to the questions that you've asked in the prologue. But the only question that you've really asked is, oh, how did his friends die? You haven't even asked how he feels about it. I don't know. This is just very... What were you... what are you trying to get across in this, Ninja? Like, just so I know. So maybe I can see where things, like, maybe went wrong. Characters like Gilgamesh and Siduri will come back after the main character comes back to Babylon. Yeah, that makes sense. Second battle for the main character in Ishtar, and have a chapter end with Ishtar defeated and land into the underworld. Main character's gotta be a badass motherfucker. Point was making the prologue is that it was meant to set up for chapter 1. With established personality of Ethan. So I'd say, in order to make that impactful and super easy and nice, don't mention his dead friends. Maybe, like, slightly allude to a loss. But don't say that he lost his friends. Like, make us feel that this is the real Ethan. And then when you go to chapter 1 and he's different, we'll be like, well, how did he get to the way that he is in the prologue? Or how did he go from the way that he is in the prologue to now? Does that make sense? Because I feel all of this extra stuff, like, you could just easily say from his interaction with Belial that he's an introvert, that he hasn't been able to find, like, is helping actually, yeah. Chapters 4, 5, and 6 with Ishtar with her authorities stripped and bonding with the main character Gilgamesh and Siduri. It is hurting my pride, but this type of stuff is needed. Yeah, because it's like I said, I see what you're trying to do, sell me the character, right? But I think selling me the character through his reaction to Belial and having that scene be the core of the prologue is the most impactful way to do it. What do you guys think, though? Because normally by, like, the end, right? When this event happens, meeting, like, Ethan meeting Belial, this is the turning point, right? Because I'm guessing meeting her is what changes him. So this is what you want to focus the entire prologue on, is how important his being partnered with her is, and his reaction to it. And that's going to draw people in with the curiosity of this character. Because all the other stuff feels like once you've... So, this is the question I'm asking myself, Ninja. Once this scene happens, what... How's it go? Hey, Sean, how's it going? Yo. Enkidu, Mordok, and Tiamat will be introduced in the latter half when the crew will be preparing to go find the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Nice, and that'll be like their first quest to go for. That sounds dope. I am destroying Ninja's prologue. I am completely destroying it. Welcome, welcome, though, Sean. You get to be here for the magnificence that is me utterly... Yeah. Demolishing this. What is the point of every scene that comes before Belial's interaction with Ethan that cannot be expressed through his interaction? So let's go back and let's see what you've established. You've established that he is focusing too much on the past because of a loss. It's affecting his university studies. It's causing him social problems. The only thing that can't be expressed through the pure interaction of them is the professor's concern for him. So make it so the professor specifically assigns Belial to Ethan as his show of, okay, well we have a problem with one of our students. He can't find a partner, or his partner, can't be around enough for him to get the project done. So you're gonna be his new partner, and then he kind of gets Ethan to stand up in front of the class, and he gives like Ethan this moment. But it's like for Ethan, this is like the worst thing that could possibly happen. So it's like this is the contradiction of character, where the professor is like, I'm doing something good for you, but the main character is like, no, fucking leave me alone. And then you portray all of Ethan's feelings as he's like walking to the front of the class. And you use that as like that 15 seconds that's actually like 10 minutes. You get inside his head, all the thoughts rushing through his head as he takes every step along the way. Make it feel like the hallway or the lane that he's going down is like extending to infinity. Really, really capitalize on this dread walk and make that the character bonding moment with the reader. And then by that point, you basically see Belial as an enemy. And then you have to work this into being like, this is the most important meeting that I've, like, is the last line of the prologue being like, I never could have known it then, but this was the most important moment of my life. That's impactful. That will hit people, right? And you can do it in like 12 or 13 panels with like cuts to students, their reactions of being like, oh man, I wish I was her partner. And like you could do a lot with it, all in the span of that 15-second walk. And I think that will make it, your feedback is off value, and I got the summary of what you wanted me to put, which is give a good payoff. No worries, Ninja. It's just, that's just where I'm going with it, right? So, remember, never take seriously anything that I say. Read through and edited through chapter 17. Nice, country girl. Hell yeah. Moving up in the world. But I do get your point about payoffs. Yeah. I just feel like there hasn't been a capitalization moment. Ads. Fuck ads. Why ads? I hate ads. I don't want no ads no more. I don't want ads no more. not ads. No. No, not ads. Sooner I get done with this book, finally I can move into the second installment featuring romantic subplots, murder conspiracies, and magic horse cults. The struggle is real. Because, like, the entire prologue starts with the flashback and, like, the death, right? But then it never really does anything with it. And I think that's probably the biggest weakness with this is you're like, okay, well, but how does that affect the character? Because, like I said, we don't know if he's feeling guilty about it. We don't know if he's just sad and like, what stage of grief is he at? Right? We don't even know how long ago this happened. This could be years ago. So it makes it hard to connect with the character when we don't have these answers. And Ereshkigal, I might have her reconcile with her sister Ishtar during the battle against Tiamat. Isn't that the reason why she's like a complete bitch, is because of her sister? But, so what is the... Because I'm just trying to create like a picture in my head here, Ninja. But like... Intrigue. That's the word I'm looking for. Intrigue. There's no intrigue to the mystery. Because... she's a complete bitch because of her actions towards others. Not knowing how Ethan feels about other than being sad. Something kicking around my head for a while. The man gets reincarnated as a fledgling goddess and is not happy with any of it, at least of all the disembodied voice that constantly trying to guide them to become a proper immortal goddess. Huh. Interesting. Because I'm trying to think, Ninja, what's actionable advice that's actually, like, good for you, right? And I think the only thing is, like, figuring out how the character feels and what stage of grief he's in and how long ago the accident was are just super important things that need to be told to the reader so they can judge where Ethan is supposed to be, like, on the grief scale versus where he is. Because without that information, where he is on the grief scale doesn't have any impact because we don't have any reference point. So if we could get even one inkling of a reference point, that would make his current situation and current emotional situation impactful. Talk. Before I go, because I'm getting called by my parents, so before I go, let me say thank you for giving me feedback. I appreciate your care for my progression in my story. No worries, Ninja. It's all good, brother. I just, I want to try to give actionable advice, and if my advice is not actionable for you, then I want to change the direction that I'm giving my advice from, right? Like you said, if it's an off value because it's not providing the value that you want the story to have, you're the writer at the end of the day, right? And I'm just one person with one opinion. So always take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not in your head. I don't have your ideas. My critiques could ruin your idea, right? So always be weary of that. I try my best to make sure people keep that in mind when I'm giving the feedback, because, you know, in one way it can sound good, but if I don't have an idea of where you want to go with the story, I can completely derail you. That statement doesn't work. She's not a bitch because of their actions. They do things because they are a bitch. Unless she is only perceived as a bitch because of her actions. But if we know the motivation, she's actually not a bitch. Practically tough love is often seen as being harsh. Listen to everything, but only use what works. Exactly, Sean. Exactly. But I don't know. I kind of wish you were here for the entire thing, Sean, so you could give your view on it.